Welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara. This is Barbara Talks. I will be talking about the dark side of all the signs today, but just because, you have this sign, I know people are attached to the sign that they have doesn't mean that this is going to be you. It's a plane of duality at the end of the day. It's just how the sign can express itself when it's in the dark version of itself or the shadow of the energy. And plus, in a natal chart, there's so many things to look at, so sometimes the energy might not be expressed in this way. You guys can see what signs you guys resonate with most in your chart. Sometimes people have a dominant energy. Some people are sometimes, let's say, Scorpio dominant, or some people are sometimes, let's say, Aries dominant, or, Libra dominant. You know what I mean? So it can be sun, moon, rising, but it's like you do still have a dominant energy at the end of the day, so that's probably what's going to resonate with you most. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Libra. People pleasers, I'm sure you guys know. Also, they can be very fake because they want everybody to like them. Not everybody can like you. That's what you are meant to learn from Aries. You have a lot of Libra in your chart, or you have a Libra stellium, or you are Libra dominant. Libra energy can sometimes settle, I find, when it comes to relationships because they don't want to be alone. Okay, they always kind of need to be partnered up, whether it's with a buddy, whether it's with a lover, whether it's a romantic partner, whoever. And they're kind of always looking for the one, I find, okay? Because again, it is a sign of partnership, absolutely, right? But again, they can sometimes settle because they don't want to be alone. So that's something that Libra is meant to master, the fear of being alone and kind of creating their own sense of self, right? Because a lot of the time, the Libra sense of self is created through everybody around them. And if those people aren't around, Libra might not know who they are. So that's something that Libra is meant to master, okay, in this lifetime as well, is the sense of self and boundaries. Okay, that's a huge one for Libra. Boundaries as well, okay, especially when it comes to, again, your interpersonal relationships, whether that's your friendships, whether that is your lovers, and all of these things. And Libra, again, even though they're the sign of balance, like I was saying earlier as well, if you guys are just tuning in now, a lot of the signs are trying to master what that sign means, right? So they are the sign of balance, but it's like they're not actually balanced. They are trying to master balance in this lifetime. So they're always looking for harmony. In the shadow of the energy with the Libra energy, can happen with them is like they can go into extreme anger, okay? They can also be passive aggressive. I find Libra and Cancer to kind of like be the passive aggressive energies because again, they might not directly address what's bothering them. They bounce off of Aries, so they do have a lot of anger. Like Libras can have anger issues. They can be very not balanced. Also, sometimes they can kind of not be direct, not be clear, okay? Because they are trying to appease everybody or they're trying to keep the peace. Especially if you have like Libra, let's say in the big three, sun, moon, or rising, a lot of the time these people do incarnate into chaotic environments. So it's like, because they grow up around probably a lot of chaos, they're trying to constantly keep the peace around them. And that's not going to serve them either. Because again, they're not speaking their truth, right? They kind of have to develop their solar plexus chakra as well. In terms of the confidence, the sense of self, to speak your truth, to say when something is bothering you. If you feel like you can't at least write it down or at least let it go, okay, when it comes to that person, because otherwise it tends to get suppressed. They can be very angry. They can suppress a lot of their anger, okay, because they're meant to kind of learn to release this. It can be indecisive, which I'm sure you guys already know, because again, when you have Libra energy in your chart, you can kind of see all the possibilities. This is why sometimes they're not direct. They can also kind of be fake too. Libra is a little bit sneakier, right, because we're kind of going through the wheel. By the time we get to Libra, you can kind of look at it as a little bit more mature. So Libra can be very sneaky. They can be very manipulative, okay, because they're smart. They can be very manipulative. They'll be very charming. If you have it again in the personal placements, you'll be attractive. You'll be able to kind of even use that. It could even be like an element of seduction with Libra as well. And another thing with Libra too is like, they'll always kind of be gauging their options when it comes to relationships and these types of things. Because remember how I told you guys that sometimes they can settle, but they're still looking for the one. They might not want to be alone, so be with that person, but they can still kind of be like scoping out the scene. So sometimes, when someone comes up to Libra, they might kind of leave information out, right? Like let's say they're dating someone. They'll always be kind of looking to see, is there a better option for me if this person isn't, again, that one true love that they're kind of looking for? That's what's going on with Libra. And it's like, in a way, again, it's an air sign. Air signs in one way, shape, or form are all non-committal, if that makes sense. Because it's like they can connect with people mentally. They can connect with a lot of people. I find that they fly under the radar, but they can be very flirty, is really what that is. Okay, they can be very flirty and they'll like the attention. So it's like, because of that, they might kind of still pretend to be single. Let's say they are in a relationship, for example, kind of like looking to see what's going on. Also, they can kind of sometimes create drama, so they can kind of be like the savior from it. So like sometimes this can happen unconsciously, or sometimes they can kind of do it on purpose, where it's like, again, they can also sometimes transport information as well. So it's like they might create drama, let's say in a friend group, but they can also be the person who comes through and is like, okay, I'm bringing the solution. And again, this is something that could happen unconsciously. Another thing as well for Libra is they can really like go into the energy of wanting to be chosen. So you'll see these people end up in like groups of 3, for example. You might find them in love triangles. They might also create love triangles too, unconsciously or consciously, the Libra energy as well. So that's another dark side of Libra energy too, where it's like, again, they want to be the one that's chosen. I think for one of the videos, I can't remember which one it was, Which one was it? Maybe it was Lilith in Libra. It was one of the Libra energies where I was like, hide your friends or something like that. Because like a Libra energy is going to come into, let's say, a friend group. Let's say there's already two best friends. And a lot of the time they do this unconsciously. I don't think they are like malicious, right? They don't really do that on purpose, but they're going to come into a friend group and like, let's say there's two best friends and somehow they're gonna take the best friend from the other person and it's gonna become their best friend. So they kind of have this energy of like unconsciously wanting to be chosen and like these love triangle types of situations and creating the love triangles or like friendship triangles and these types of things. You said, can you add that Libra might refrain from things? Confrontation, that's true. Fear of experiencing more injustice, absolutely. So that's another thing too. They're very much about the justice aspect of things. Here's the thing too, you guys, because the energies in your chart might not be you who's doing it, but like it's in your chart, right? So unconsciously you put the energy out there so people can kind of do that towards you. I hope that makes sense. You might not be creating the love triangles, but people can kind of try to pull you into their love triangles as well. This is my theory. I don't know if this is like a thing, but like my conclusion with Libra is, especially if you have it in the big three, the whole reason they end up in like trios or like love triangles or like these types of situations, whether it's friendships or lovers or whatever, is because yes, there's the whole charming and flirty. Yeah, that's part of it. But the other part of it is if you have it in the big three, there was a lot of balancing that you were trying to do when you were growing up between the parents. And because of that, you're now always trying to balance people out. Okay. So you might find yourself, even if it's not like an actual like friendship triangle or if it's not a love triangle or whatever, you might find yourself in situations where it's like you're trying to, you know, mediate between people. Let's say they're mad at each other and then you're coming through and you're trying to like balance things out for the other people as well. Yes, absolutely indecision, because that's the thing with Libras, and that's why Libras tend to attract Aries, and that's also what they're meant to learn from Aries. It's like Libra is plagued by all the possibilities because again, you see all the options, right? And you see all the sides. And one of you guys mentioned lawyers, and that's why Libras are usually interested in law or these types of things, okay, or they can be, because they're able to see how this person can be right and how that person can be right. So with that being said, it's like that's why they're good in those types of situations, because again, they're able to twist things. That's what I mean by like they can be manipulators. In the sense where it's like if you really look at like a dark side of Libra, you'll start an argument with them and it's like they'll somehow convince you. This is why they're good at debates and these types of things. It's like somehow, you know, they'll kind of get out of the situation and like not be the one that's wrong. On the surface, like they can very much be the types of people that like come off really nice. But again, I can see why people think Libra is quote unquote fake, okay? Because like the niceness can come off as like, you know, not being genuine, because they're about people. They're about people and they're charismatic and they know how to work with people. Like this is why even Gemini too, okay? But Gemini again is a little bit younger of an energy, but like because they get along with people, they're able, and this is why Gemini can also be a good salesperson as well. It's like they get along with people, so they kind of learn people. They learn like what to say to get what they want out of the person.